I'm excited about this one, ladies and gentlemen, because we are getting prime time, the brightest lights, and the biggest stage a little early here tonight because for good reason, because my friend here who's from my home state, the great state of New York, the Empire State, is in the other part of the state, but he's here live to kick off double duty tonight here on Sportswire Radio. We're going to be talking a lot about what happened at that Shocky's house party. Boy, whose house is it? Shock's house! We're going to definitely talk about that. We're going to talk about his match, by the way. Boy, Stefan Havok always seems to outdo himself. And he always says he comes in and he might say he's nothing from nowhere. But what I saw he and Hunter did, well, he ain't nothing. And that match definitely ain't going nowhere for sure. But we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about what happened in WTW. We'll talk about what else is the future for Stefan Havok. And who knows, whatever else. It'll definitely be a show where we're just going to be talking all wrestling matters on a platform that you helped build, and for good reason, because we've got a man here that is the only Hall of Famer, the only wrestling Hall of Famer from my home state. I know we'll definitely change that soon, but it is time now to give our guest that introduction that he deserves, and he hasn't got here in a while. And I remember like it was yesterday when he first came onto the platform, so hang on tight. It's time to give him that introduction that we're waiting for here. So with that, without further ado here on the Sports Report. Number one, Gable Sports Show from the Empire State. A man who may say he's nothing from nowhere, but he definitely causes plenty of havoc. His name is simply put, Stefan My friend, how are we doing?
We're doing good. See, those intros are starting to grow on me now.
Really? Because, you were one of the ones that got him. I think you first came on almost 2 years. Actually, yeah, about 2 years ago now. And I was just starting to perfect them. So you've seen them kind of when they were, not so great. And now we have the fancy lights in the background. You got the fancy lights in the background. So you could actually say more than some of the newer people that have come on here when the intros, what they were like once upon a time. So lucky you, I suppose. Maybe not. Maybe not lucky you. I don't know. Sometimes you message me and I'm like, uh-oh. Then other times you're like excited. So, but you never know. That's a good thing, though. But that's a good thing, though, because, it's almost like Baskin Robbins. There's 31 flavors. You never know what you're going to get. But obviously, it's very good to see you. It's a good thing. Listen, you're Stefan Havok. You can't go wrong with that. But always good to see you, my friend. A lot to talk about. I kind of saw you last weekend and kind of sort of saw you. We had the whole Shocky's house party preview. Just kind of came together. It kind of saw you. But now I'm going to
I wasn't really, in a talkative mood.
Nobody was. Well, first of all, Gabe Sayers came out in a book bag. We were waiting for Jake Dvorak. He was out there. We were waiting for everybody else. Shockey was there. Mickey Vargas was there. I mean, Hunter, we're going to definitely get to him. And, we had D'Angelo the Flame always pops up. So I can understand why, you're obviously not in a talking mood. You guys are about to go out there, especially your match. And we'll definitely put that up on the screen here. But let's kind of kick things off here first overall. Let's talk about the event itself. Shocky's house party, very successful. Had a lot of great matches. I mean, what Jake and Shockey did to open up the show. I mean, you can't ask for a better opener to top that up.
Every single match was like better than it. Such a good show.
Absolutely. So what did that feel like being? I know we were here before, and we were here for the Riot in the Ring. But Shocky's house party. Talk about what that was like to be a part of that show.
Oh, it was great. I mean, if you think about it, it was like we brought that riot to the party. You know what I mean? You had LaFlame, you had Dvorak, you had myself. You know what I mean? Joe Star, all those major players that were in there. We all went to Buffalo. We all were a part of that house party. Just such an amazing experience to mix it with some of the people that don't necessarily travel that are out there. Um, like my opponent, I don't really think he travels too much, but I'm not sure on that. But like, it was great to go out there and have that match. It was amazing to have that match, actually. A lot of those guys kind of stay over there, and you know what I mean. So it was like I mean, you had your Massachusetts guys, you had your Connecticut guys, but a lot of it was like East New York versus West New York.
So I mean, I know you were here for the riot in the ring. We spoke about that, but in terms of just how different was this experience versus the riot in the ring?
Um, yeah, my mindset was definitely different in the riot than it was coming into the house party. Like I was, um, fact is, me and Shockey, we go back.
Yep.
So when we do end up facing each other, when I wrestle somebody, I want to hurt them. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to necessarily hurt Shockey. You know what I mean? Like I don't want that. So like.
Oh, it was his house party though. I mean, you can't hurt the guy hosting the house party.
In the riot, I was put in a situation where I was supposed to hurt him, and it was like I was kind of conflicted there, and it kind of cost me the match, basically. Like I kind of started getting into it, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna bring glass in, whatever, and that's that. My mindset was like, never give up. Like, just keep going. Like, shit's gonna happen. You're gonna get cut up. Stuff's gonna happen. Don't give up. Like, don't. You're not. Don't lose this one. Like, it's important. It was important to me to like go through that. Just we'll watch it. It was just.
We're gonna watch it in a few minutes, but it's interesting. You had a different take. When you were here a couple of months ago. And you obviously referenced the riot in the ring there. You were there almost to make an impact, right? You were there basically to kind of, and maybe in a way, show the world what you had to offer. But in this case, you did want to get a win. So what changed in a sense where the mentality was different a couple of months ago to the mentality we're going to see it in a few minutes?
I just knew that, like deep down, I have a never die attitude. You know what I mean? So like, I knew that had to come out. I knew that, like, no matter what happened, in the riot, I almost like, there's almost like a sense of like honor to be pinned by Shockey. You know what I mean? I was just like, can I kick out? Maybe. Am I gonna kick out? No, because we just like beat the fuck out of each other, and that's that. You know what I mean? So like, I was done. Like, he put me down. I was done. But I don't know. Like, there's like a fire that burns, and I don't know. You just gotta like, you can't quit. Like, you can't. I'm done taking losses. You know what I mean? Like, I'm done. I'm ready to like.
Well, you gotta win. You gotta win too. I mean, you deserve some wins. Your abilities out there speak for itself. I mean, you're starting to go places. I remember, we're talking, right, and almost 2 years ago we spoke for the first time, and I'm not going to regurgitate the conversation, but you were obviously on the way back, right? You're basically, re-entering things, and you fast forward now. In a way, you're kind of getting your flowers, and I don't want to make the comparison to a hardcore because obviously a whole different situation. But in a way, you're starting to now go to these different places where you're starting to be recognized. Where almost 2 years ago when you came onto Sportswire for the first time, and it was almost as if we're just starting out. So you have to start somewhere. But now, fast forward, riot in the ring. WTW again, now Shockey's house party. And I'm sure there'll be other things, whatever the situation arises. But I think now you're starting to get your flowers for what you've done here in the circuit. That's what I think. I mean, you
When
could
I
say
went
whatever
to
you want on that.
WPW in Delaware, they didn't know who the hell I was, but like some of them did, but not like the crowd that was there. They had no idea who I. They've only watched like what they've watched out there.
Right.
So like they didn't know who I was. When that match was over, they knew who I was. And that was like the whole point of me going out there. You know what I mean? Like lining up to shake my hand. Whoa, that was crazy. Like that's like kind of why you do it, you know what I mean? I even was like going out there trying to slap hands. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody was ready to slap my hand. After the match, people were like, "Oh my god, give me a high five." Um So I mean that just for that was like an experience, you know what I mean? Just to feed off of like such a big little crowd. Like I say big little because I mean it wasn't like
I
massive.
saw we watched the show, and
Yeah.
it's
It was just good time over there. I don't know. Everywhere I've gone, I feel like at this point because I've been active so often, that like I'm getting into like this groove, like I'm starting to feel things out. I'm starting to like change up my style a little bit. My buddy actually described me as a technical high flyer, and I was just like, whoa. And then
wow.
I thought about it, and I was just like, well, he's not wrong. Like I've been called a hardcore wrestler or deathmatch wrestler forever, but I always said that there's a difference between a deathmatch wrestler and a wrestler that can deathmatch. You know, I think that's important. Like if you're gonna get involved,
Versatility.
you're gonna get
Versatility.
involved in that style. You should probably know what you're doing if that style wasn't a part of the match.
Jimmy Controversy talked a little bit about that on prior shows. He talked about the versatility, the variety, the ability to do different things. Because sometimes people look, Cato's going to be here tomorrow, right? And Cato always talks about, his experiences. And I think it's always important to have those types of experiences. And I think it's a good time now to get into the match. I see some people here. Let's do that. I actually am going to put this link up here right now for everybody. So hang on tight here. I'm going to go fast forward right into match time. So we'll go like this. We'll go like that. And we'll wait till go. I think I can share my screen right now. I forgot to do that. That's the most important part. Otherwise, nobody can watch the match. That's not fun. But here we are. But we'll save it at that. But there we go. Got the nice little match promo there. Hunter and Stefan Havok. And for the audience that's watching for the first time, tell us about Hunter and what kind of a competitor he is going into this.
Hard hitting,
Big man,
just a mean man. Like does not have remorse. Honestly, like he's not a remorseful man. And I knew that going into this. That's why I was like focused to like have that never say die attitude.
That's always important to have that kind of attitude going into a match. And I think you have different music again. You think your music's changed, at least from the last time I saw you out there. But
this has been my music everywhere I've been going lately. It's custom music. It's
okay.
That says my name. You can't go wrong there.
Well, music sets the tables, but we're about to set the tables here, and we're ready to see match time and such. And I'm excited about this. And by the way, if you want to go and watch Shocky's house party, I'm going to put the link up here in a few minutes. That's on the.
Put that.
We're gonna put some links up. We're gonna put Stefan Havok's Instagram page up there, so definitely check out all of it here. And we're very excited about it. You're about to see some. You thought the Riot in the Ring was one, but you just wait until what we see here and some of this match upcoming. But obviously, my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters here. And we'll be here also at 9:00 on Sportzwire Radio with PWX Three Rivers champion, the Gentleman Exquisite Godric Sandwell. So that'll be an interesting conversation. But until then, Hunter is here with us and Stefan Havok on the Shocky's House Party on the House of Misfits Entertainment YouTube page. And we're watching it. We want to credit Shocky. Thank you, Shocky, and everybody else at House of Misfits Entertainment Wrestling for allowing us to share the footage. We want to give credit. And certainly Hunter's going out there and kissing babies. How ironic, Stefan Havok, a man of that stature, petting the babies. I'm
a dad too. Like it happens.
Well, The good news is that he's going into the ring, and I don't think he's going to be doing much petting of the babies, but rather going to attack you. Is that? Hopefully, his ring attire has been clean because it looks like he's got some war stains there. Let's just put it that way.
I think they like maybe just stained. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, I'm not going to ask. Hunter's not here, but Stefan Havok is here, and you're sitting there. And what's your mindset right now going into this?
I have no idea what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be bad. That's where I was at.
Well, we're going to find out now. We're going to find. I mean, those who have watched it and then not watched it, well, you're in luck, or maybe not in luck. Who knows here? But we're going to watch it, and Hunter's just putting his hands in his pocket. But there he goes. There he goes. He changes course, and there we go. And yeah, he's definitely doing something to your head. And,
yeah, right off the bat, a little gusset plate right to the head.
Well, if it wasn't that kind of match, you got this kind of match now. But obviously, a strong start from the veteran Hunter. But we see you going back and forth. When you have an opponent like this, and we see him bleeding to start right away, when he has the size advantage over you, how do you combat that?
I mean, 90% of the people I wrestle are going to have a size advantage over me, so I'm used to that. You chop the tree down,
But you were talking about your technical hardcore style. That was a pretty cool move there you had kind of midstream in the ring.
Yeah, you gotta be flashy here and there. I got that on, you can't just stay still in there.
Well, you definitely doing a number of different things, and obviously that's gonna work run your opponent.
I'm wrestling and he's death matching right now, you know what I mean?
Which is, kind of in a way almost surprising from what I had you last. We were talking about Shockey. I won't quite say it was the reversal, but it sort of is the reversal here. And you got him here.
I love this imagery right here. I'm sorry, but you got to admit, I mean, Bret Hart, Steve Austin.
I was going to say that, actually. I was going to say that was pretty clever. Did you guys time it that way? Was that something?
It's just that, I mean, like everything, like, yeah. There was no... Like he lives over there, I live over there. We didn't.
Right.
We this is the first time we met.
So beforehand, was there any talk about the match? Did you guys talk about the match at all, or just it was let's go out there and wing it, pretty much?
Just go out there and wing it, pretty much.
Well, that's kind of good in a way. I kind of think I could see the pro of that. I think that the pro of that is that you just go out there. It's like if you were to play basketball back in the day, pick up basketball, get the ball, and just. You go out there and shoot, run, and that's the gist of it. But yeah, that wasn't pick up basketball, but you got picked up into
a board of forks.
A board of forks. Well, obviously somebody likes forks, I suppose, but you weren't going to be using those forks. But Hunter is definitely tasting some of his own blood. Hopefully, it tasted good. But he's taking one of those forks over to you. That definitely is going to hurt a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit there. But at least he didn't go after the face paint.
I mean, it's going to smudge. It is what it is.
Well, it was eventually going to, but it's good news that you're obviously not smudging just yet. But you got back up a little bit, and you're going, I think, for crutches there. It's crazy, but
I got a little stack.
But well, here we go. But you're back at it here, and I think you've got yourself, and that was a swanton there, a little bit, a mini swanton.
Yeah, a little.
Now I see. Now this is where it gets interesting for those. And Zilla says she feels sticks to her stomach because she's not used to watching hardcore death matches. Our resident
the match. I'm sorry, Zilla.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for us on Sports, but we need variety. We'd much rather talk about this than some other things out there.
I'm curious if this is one of the most violent matches that has been on Sportswire.
You know what? It's funny you said that. I mean, I had I don't know if do you know the deathmatch juggalo Brian White? He's done some stuff in IWA Deep South, Carnage. Okay. I don't know if you know him. We had a match that was years ago he did when he was like in the backyard, and it was stuff off like the top of a roof, and he, put himself through a few things. I would say he probably would have been maybe the most deadliest match. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that we've had that's topped. The Brian White match comes to mind. Jesse Daniels. Do you know Deathy Daniels? Jesse Daniels. He's wrestled Mickey Knuckles. He's been another guy, Carnage Cup. I played one of his matches. I would say that.
Yeah, they get pretty violent.
Those would be the guys that I would say. I'm trying to think. I know Jake's been here. Jake, have I played? Well, actually, Jake's matches we had in NEW. We've had a couple of Jake matches we've played on here. I
Yeah,
mean,
every time Jake goes hardcore,
Jake's.
it's
I would
more
say
and
Jake's up
more and
there.
more.
I,
Like,
I don't think I watched Anarchy. I don't think I watched Anarchy on Sportswire here. He's only here once, but I would say Jake's matches would be up there. I would say Jesse Daniels. Cato's going to be here tomorrow. I'm sure Cato will be right up there with it. So we've had a few of them. I can't say every match has been that way. It would be disingenuous, but we've had a few over the last several months. But Hunter's up, and he's got some more objects he's going to use, and it's unfortunately at for you and his discretion.
that would be glass shards.
Well, it's glassy. Let's just put it out there. It's glassy.
He's a glassy guy, you know.
Well, that's just how it goes. What can you say? But obviously, you're about to have something happen, and that was a pile driver there. That was a pile driver. Was a pile driver, and well, who was it that says I don't know the lingo? I think it's Copper Dragon that tells me I don't know the lingo. So I'm trying to work on my wrestling lingo, but that definitely hurt both of you guys. But this is where you do find a way to show some havoc, and you kick out there. I mean, you had to, reach a little bit there to kick out and still hang in there. But your head,
immediately feel it. I'm feeling.
I was going to say. So I mean. How do you still fight in these matches? I never asked you guys.
You just keep getting up.
Do you get numb to the pain?
Yeah, you definitely, your adrenaline kind of, I mean, like, things hurt. Like, things hurt, but it goes away, and then
it goes away, yeah. It goes away, huh? Well, that definitely
right now it's staying.
Well, I mean, that's kids don't try this at home. Let's put a disclaimer. Kids don't try this at home. These are
don't try this
veteran wrestlers who in many cases are trained. So let's please
practice your holds before you play with sports.
Absolutely. It's definitely for that, but you do find a way here to get back in the match, and I think you're reaching for something else, and the same thing I think it was, and that's where
a barbed wire lollipop.
You know what? When I grow up, I want a barbed wire lollipop. I used to. For those out there, you remember having those lollipops? What was the was it Tootsie? It was Tootsie Rolls, and it was the other one with the bubble gum. That was Was it bubble yum? I think it was, right? Was it the bubble yum lollipop? Right. Those were great, but I think that's the one I'm going to want when I grow up. Maybe in the next life, I'll get a barbed wire lollipop. Maybe you, Stefan Havok, you'll give me a barbed wire lollipop. I'm sure there's people out there
that one's kind of dirty. So
I could, you know what? There's some people out there that probably want to do that to me anyway. But I digress. We're having fun right now, and this is the match. And Hunter's definitely still using things to your discretion. But that's definitely, to quote one owner's company, definitely unhinged. That's an unhinged Hunter. He's definitely unhinged. He almost looks like it in his ring attire. I don't know if anybody remembers. It was Nails. Remember Nails? Very briefly, had a brief run. He's got almost the Nails attire, except Nails, I think his attire was orange. This is
prison
yellow.
Orange. Yeah.
Yeah. This is prison white. So maybe prison white is the new black, not rather than prison orange. But there was something else thrown at you there, and that definitely also hurt. But
tax strips.
Well,
everything cuts you here. Everything. It's this. This is a man. Yeah. See, right now, tax strip.
Do you look up? Do you look up at what happens here? I would hope not, right? Well, I guess not. But maybe I wouldn't want to look up either. But he just stomps on your head for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure. But,
at this point, I think he thinks he has me.
But you didn't. You found a way to keep going. You keep finding a way, but you've, I think, had enough right now. Now you're about to create some havoc. You're definitely creating some havoc there, and that's why you are where you are. And I see everybody watching in the background. What a nice day you guys had. I had you guys on for it, and you guys couldn't have had a better day to do the show.
Oh, it was a beautiful day.
Picture perfect. I mean, the weather in New York's been just amazing. I mean, it's like I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and you're about to do some near damage there, and that's going to be pretty much where the end of the match is. Have you ever seen a referee go count on me to basically count the winner? I don't think I've seen that before.
In his defense, I think he was tired of getting tax in his hand.
He's
even
got
with the
gloves,
gloves.
though. He's got gloves. He's got gloves. We'll
Yeah,
play
no,
that
even with the
again.
gloves, he definitely was getting tax in his hand.
We'll definitely play that again for the audience. But that was, definitely you. I think you've had enough, Stefan Havok. You've definitely had enough there. And to quote the band Winger, you definitely can't get enough of doing that. But we won't ask you about the band Winger. We'll definitely ask about you winging what you're doing to Hunter, and you're definitely choking him, almost if it is like in prison, almost like the episode of Oz. But I think you hit yourself by accident there. Was that by accident there?
He got my eye.
Well, I don't know if you saw El Brujo's post on Facebook, him in his eye, and he was basically talking about don't go for the eye anymore. But he's definitely gone back for that, and definitely we're going to rewatch the end of the match here before I ask you a few more thoughts on it and get into the chat and plug, of course, Shocky's house party here, and definitely great event. We really appreciate Shockey for allowing us to cover it. And Hunter, for whatever reason, big mistake by a veteran wrestler, though, to walk around here. This is where it gave you an opportunity, Stefan Havok, to come back in the match. I mean, you had to have felt pretty good about that despite taking that shot there, but he gave you some time to get back up on your feet.
So honestly, it's right about here where I know that I gotta push because he's just picking me apart and he's just poking me and I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? Like he's just picking and poking and I know that I got to do something. Like he's standing on my head. Like that's enough right there. You know what I mean? Like and you can see the adrenaline slowly like getting inside of me with every single one of these shots. You can see like I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
You got a little bit of, to quote Joe Starr, a bit of adrenaline there. You got a little bit of adrenaline, and that's what you're really about to go wild, and this is where it's going to come to an end. This is going to
Yeah, I'm about to run on the ceiling. Like who does that?
Probably not anybody else after. I don't know if they've had that before. For Vicky Vargas, who's here at the chat, have you guys had that before in House of Misfits Entertainment? But have you guys had that before? I wonder about that. But there you go. You got a big win. And how does it feel, first of all, before I ask you about the pain, how does it feel to be on top?
It was an honor to face Hunter. It really was. He was there to hurt me, and honestly, I don't even know how I did it. I just kept moving. I kept moving, and it was that last bit of adrenaline, and I don't think he expected it because I think he at that point he was just picking me apart. So, nah, it's a huge win, and I need more of those. I need to keep proving myself. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, it's a good way to look at it. And before I come back into the card, getting a victory like that can help go a long way in proving that, you know what, I'm here and you're going to go up against me and you're going to have to throw, as we talked about last time you were here, almost everything but the kitchen sink. And actually for you, maybe the kitchen sink, that's what it'll take to take you down. But getting a victory like this, I think goes a long way in whatever your future plans will be.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm carrying a little bit of momentum. So I like that. Like, I'm going to stay with that. You know what I mean?
Well, before I do anything else here, if you'd like to give a follow, please support our friends here over in House of Misfits Entertainment. There were 361 subscribers. Are getting inching up. I remember when Shockey came here, I want to say about a month and a half ago. I think we were like in the 200s. Now we're at 360. So I want to get these guys to 500 subs. I want to get them to 500 this year. I tell you what, when we get them to 500, I'm going to give them a nice day. I'm going to give them a certificate. We're going to have a nice little ceremony for the guys. So let's go out there and support those that support us. We're obviously standing strong. We had a great show here. We're going to talk about that further in a few minutes, but this is their page. I can't stress enough the importance of hitting that sub button for our friends at House of Misfits Entertainment Backyard Wrestling. It's HOMEBYW 22. So hit that sub button for them. I would appreciate that here, and I'll leave it up here. We'll get to the chat. I don't know if somebody's talking in Spanish here. Can we translate what that means? Uncinto? I don't know. I don't speak Spanish, but we have a couple of Spanish speakers in the chat. So I don't know anything about what Rob O'Malley has said there, but what I will say is it's always good to see Rob O'Malley, the bearded wonder, and it was nice. And he was your match right before that, so you had to follow up Rob O'Malley. What a surprise!
Right? Yeah, no, definitely. Kings of Mayhem, Javi Kent, Rob O'Malley, they're tearing it up.
Oh,
They
Javi
also
Kent and Rob O'Malley are all over the place. I mean, these
yeah,
guys are just killing it there. Rob's been here a couple of times on Sportswire with Eddie, the one and only Eddie Exile, and Javi Kent's another guy. Seen him in TF Crew and some other places. So definitely a good man, Rob O'Malley, a bearded wonder who's definitely a big TikTok influencer. And speaking of people here, that's always here, my man Jake Dvorak. Jake, of course, is from our friends at NEW, amongst other places. And, hell of an opening match he and Shock put out there. Speaking of people, Jake, I mean, Jake is just, I don't know what else is he going to do to find objects to put in his body. I mean, Jake is just, I don't know. Maybe he's almost like, you ever play the board game Operation? That's what Jake is doing with his body right now. Just finding what ways to just, I don't know, put things in there. I hope he's going to be okay. I hope he keeps doing it. I mean, we love it, but we want to see him here on Sportswire more often, which we will. For good reasons. For inside the ring, please, inside the ring reasons. We really don't want to talk about anything else. But Joe Starr is in the house. How you doing, Joe Starr? My man, Joe Starr. What would you like being on a show with Joe Starr here? Yeah, any thoughts on up and comer?
He's pure energy. I love that man.
Yes, he's a lot of energy guys were on this show. You had O'Malley, you had Starr, you had LaFlame, you had Vargas, some really big energy guys. I mean, so if you needed if you needed an energy drink, they could have definitely gave you one. But yes, how you doing? Nice to see everybody. There is the aforementioned Mickey Vargas, 716 in the chat. He's the House of Misfits Entertainment champion. How you doing there? Good to see Mickey Vargas. And let's see who else. I don't know. Joe Starr and Jake, you some marks. I don't know what we're talking about there. Zilla does like to say hello. How you doing, Zilla? Mr. Darkron, how you doing, Mr. Darkron? Darkron is a man you should meet sometime. He is the man who's hosting the Backyard Havok in Bremen, Ohio. Have you been to Ohio? I don't know if I ever asked you that question.
I have not been to Ohio.
You got to get to Ohio next year. They got a couple of places you'd fit in well. ALW, DKW. Don't worry. You'll go there. It's safe. At least the wrestlers there, but obviously inside you'll do your damage, and maybe you meet Darkron one of these days. Do we know the addition of the word Mark? Well, somebody's first name is Mark. I know some Marks. I know people named Mark. Yes, hello to Jake. A real Mark wouldn't know, Jake. Okay, thank you very much. Let's see here. Let's get some other things here. We're not going to go about eye prescriptions. I don't know if I want to talk about eye prescriptions, but how about this one? Let's talk about this for a minute. Mickey Vargas versus Stefan Havok. Book it. What's your opinions on that?
I see magic there.
You see magic?
I definitely see magic there.
Where would you like to see that take place? Would it have to be back in Buffalo? Would it be somewhere else? Where would you like to see that take place?
It could be anywhere at this point. I mean, he's traveling. I'm traveling. I'm sure it's bound to happen.
Yeah, you guys have been traveling quite a bit. They've been in a warehouse, right? You guys wrestled in a warehouse not too long ago. Was that what I recall correctly? Or was it O'Malley, right? O'Malley was a part of that and such. That was pretty interesting. Have you wrestled in a warehouse before that? Oh, well, maybe we'll find out. Who knows? But Mickey Vargas isn't ready for Stefan Havok, and Mickey Vargas can get hardcore. I remember the riot in the ring, though. I don't know if Mickey Vargas now he wants to go hardcore. I suppose, right?
I mean, that riot was infectious to a lot of guys. I mean, a lot of them are now more hardcore than they were.
I think the riot in the ring was such. When I look back, if I could say it for a minute, if Jake is here and Joe is here, I look back. There was a lot of positives in 2024. And one of those positives, I think at the top of the list, was the riot in the ring, because it brought so many people together. It got people in rooms that just are such great talents that never would have connected. And that's a credit to Jake and everybody in his promotion to host that. And that really, really to me opened up a lot of doors with people. And that's what it's all about. And I think that all too often that we look at things and we talk about things that really have nothing to do with one another. But that riot in the ring, when I look back, when I do my year-end special, I don't know if I'm doing rankings. I ain't going to do rankings, but I'm going to do a year-end special. The riot in the ring is going to be on my list. Speaking of people who I haven't had on Sportswire technically, but I've Saw on Saturday's show for the preview of Shocky's house party, Mr. Torrance Banks. What up, gentlemen? Anything you want to say about good old Torrance Banks?
He is a monster in the ring. Like
I saw. I've watched him at home. I've seen him. Yeah.
From the version I used to see him in Rochester to the version he is now, it's light years. It's like he's.
I don't.
Really
I think Rochester's also on my list. If we're thinking about that Rochester to not talk about.
Yeah. I mean, he knows what's up, but
yeah. No, we do. No, we. Like, I think we all do.
He's come so far. He's come so far. I mean, he wasn't. I'm not saying he was a slouch back then. Like he was already good. You know what I mean? But like just. Everybody.
You know what though? But that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to get better. That's know. I was talking about that on the 1,000 subscribers show. Like you have to evolve. You just have to evolve. I mean, I don't know. But who is Hunter? Hunter was the opponent for Stefan Havok, Zilla. That was who the opponent was. But that was the opponent. But Zilla, you should go hit the sub button for our friends at Home Backyard Wrestling because they put on a lot of great shows.
They do.
They're definitely here in my home state. I want to support those in my state, so give them a sub. I want to see them. I got a lot of people here still in the chat, and people are excited. They always want to talk wrestling. So if you're here, go hit the sub button on YouTube. I got Home BYW22. So I want to see some extra subs. I got about 9 or 10 on YouTube. I got another 10 to 15 in other places. So if you're here, I got a nice little turnout for a 6:30. Just special for you, Stefan Havok, because usually 6:30 for me is like breakfast. But we made a special occasion, double duty tonight on Sportswire. Working hard. But if you're out there, go hit the sub button. Yeah, he was definitely covered in bloodstains. Yes, definitely. Reminds me, there was a Judas Priest song. I think it was. There was Once Upon a Time. I'm pretty sure it was a Judas Priest song that mentioned something about bloodstains. It was called Bloodstains. Yes, it was. Tim Ripper Owens was the singer, but we'll not get into Judas Priest because we don't want to head out on a highway. We got another thing coming. Zilla feels sick. We spoke about that. Crazy match to watch in person. I want to ask you about that. You have this match, right? It's in halfway through the card. You got other matches to go on. When you guys go and exit the ring, what is everybody in the back talking about? What is everybody else talking about? And from what they just saw between you and Hunter?
I mean, I think they were pretty like jaw dropped and like it as much as it looks vicious on there, like. You can smell the blood. You know what I mean? It's just a different atmosphere when you're there.
Sure, I can imagine.
Yeah. So, I mean, I imagine I don't know if any of them were expecting that yet or what they were expecting. I didn't even know what to expect,
I have to make you laugh. What was the travel home like? How much pain were you in? I mean, boy, that was...
Nah, it wasn't too bad.
Wasn't too bad?
Long. It felt a lot longer coming home than it did going out there. That's for sure. I feel like that's from the excitement of what you're about to do, as opposed to like you're tired, a long day, traveling back, and you want to shower in your bed.
Well, yesterday, I got to be honest. My day was like that. Yeah, it was like. Oh my God, it was like just other things not related to this, but today was like the opposite of it. So it's always good to have differences, but let's move on here. I got some more comments. Adrenaline is one hell of a drug, which is great until it wears off. Okay, all right. Adrenaline is one hell of a drug. I didn't realize it was a drug, but we have not. So that was a first. You had a first. Congratulations. You have a first there. Congratulations.
To run. Yeah. I'll take it.
Well, that's where we are. I mean, hopefully, would you want to do that again?
That's the spider in me, You got to run that ceiling. You got to crawl on the roof.
Well, you know what? Maybe when I grow up, I'll crawl on this. It is kind of who you are a little bit. But, okay, let's get to some more comments. I have some more before we move on. Yes. Oh, he lost the title. Yeah, I did realize that. Sorry about that. Womp womp. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate hearing that. Oh, Jake did appreciate that. Thank you, Jake. Yes. Yes. Hey, you're right, Havok. Since I'm not a hardcore guy, but I'm willing to do whatever afterwards, like the All Wrestling Matters tournament. Yeah. So maybe you and Joe Stars someday. What do you think about you and Joe Stars?
Oh, that would be another match that I would be absolutely. And you know what? By the end of this year, you never know, because I will be debuting in NEW by the end of this year on their YouTube.
Really? Wait a minute. So you're going to be debuting in any? Is that? Did I hear that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Now
So
you know that we all know that they're a little bit taped behind and stuff, but I will be debuting by the end of this year, and I pretty much am sticking around, So
wow. So you got to be excited about that, right?
well, I know they're kind of like on their last hurrah, and
But you never know, though. That company.
I'm gonna be a part of maybe like who knows the what if anything can happen in wrestling.
Obviously, never say never. I mean,
Yeah,
that but
I will. I mean, so I mean, if you're in here and you haven't followed NEW, follow them.
I'm gonna put their link up in a minute.
Go ahead and throw them up. Go ahead.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that in a minute. But I gotta ask you questions. There's a lot of people still in the chat. So you said something interesting. Now, you talked about NEW. Now they got a great roster. I always, at NEW and Sportswire, I always love all the guys. Joe's been here, Savage has been here, Surge has been here, Justin Abel Saint, Jake goes without saying, Tyson Spade. I won't ask you his opinion, your opinion about him, but this Rhea Silver, Zero, and they got some just endless, a whole list of great people.
Absolutely.
But who would you really want to wrestle there? Leonidas. I mean, we saw him on the show, another guy. But I mean, who would you want to wrestle there in that company?
So this is the thing.
Okay.
That roster is so in that roster.
I say it all the time. I love those guys.
There isn't a who. It's every single one of them. That's why.
Oh.
That's why. It's to mix it up with every single one of them.
Every single one of them. You want every single one of them. But there's no one in particular.
They're all that they're. I mean, I don't want to go there just yet, but they're all amazing talent, and to have a match with any of them would be an honor.
Oh, for sure.
I'll leave it at that. So I mean, you could have your Havocs versus Joe Stars. You could have your Havocs versus Tyson Spades, or your Power Surges, or your Jakes, or because anything can happen, But yeah, no. I believe by the end of this year, my debut will be happening.
So then we'll have another chat, I'm sure, about that. But
yeah, absolutely.
And
and to keep it fun, I'm not coming alone.
Well, that's it. You not coming alone?
No, I'm not coming alone.
Oh, well, that's really. I suppose that's kind of you. I mean, are you referring to objects? Are you referring to individuals? You want to elaborate? Because you play with objects too,
Individuals.
Okay. I didn't know that. You would play with individuals. Interesting there. Okay, well.
I don't normally play with others, but you never know.
Well, you know what, though? But it makes you who you are. But, let me ask you another follow-up question. I know there's a lot of people here in the chat. I'm going to let to them, get to you in a minute. But it's also got to be exciting being a part of a company that has the following that NEW has. I watch a lot of the shows, and NEW has strength in numbers. The All Wrestling Matters Hardcore Tournament had like 30-something people live on YouTube. The Riot in the Ring was extremely successful. Their Friday, shows, you look at the Vortex episodes. I mean, they have a really devoted and dedicated following. So it's got to be exciting that you would be a part of that company that has that kind of fun. I don't know if it's the biggest place you've been in your career. Maybe it is. I don't know, out of respect to everybody that you've been and wrestled in, but this is a company that's got a huge following, and that's got to be a big deal for you to go be a part of it.
I mean, I'm honored to be a part of it. I can't wait for that to start picking up and for people to see what I can do.
I'm excited about that. And if you're here right now, by the way, and I see some people, go hit the sub button for NEW because they're just shy of 2,100 2,100 subscribers. So we're 2,000, whatever, 90 something. I'm sure Jake has the exact total. While you're at it, go hit the Patreon page because I'm a Patreon subscriber. I'm going to put up your merchandise page in a few minutes. So we're going to do that as well. And, we'll definitely appreciate that. So let's keep that up for a while. Let me say hello to some people. My buddy Comatose, who was, I know, just wrestled a match that I didn't get a chance to watch with Jacob Frost. We'll check that out in a little while. But Comatose is one of my guys. And BTW in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. He says hello. Want to give a nice shout out here to our friends. And that's a nice little plug there. Carl2001_gaming. Just wanted to give you a big thumbs up on the amazing death match. I've been subscribing to Home for about a month now. Very nice. Very kind words. I am on Twitch, by the way. I don't plug Twitch as much, but I have a small amount of followers on Twitch. I have about 20 some odd followers on Twitch because, we simulcast them all. But I am on Twitch, so you're out there, definitely thank you for watching me on Twitch. I got a couple of people here and they say, I saw you on Twitch. I saw you on Twitch. And Joe Starr says he'd love to wrestle you. He'd love to wrestle you sometime.
All right. Yeah, it's definitely mutual.
And you and then, brother, debut. Let's leave that at that, right? I think we'll leave that at that, right? Don't say anything further. We'll move on. Yes, we're both in a lot of pain. Yeah, well, everybody's in a lot of pain, right, in the ring. But the doors are open, and Jake wants to confirm. All right, 2,091. So if you're here right now, right, and I see people in the chat now. I don't know if we're gonna get to 2,100 tonight, but I got called 2001 Gaming. Which I know who you are now. Nice to see you. I think I'll see you in a little while on Sportswire. But if you are out here right now, go out, hit the sub button for NEW. There's my man, Hillbilly Tilly. By the way, while we're doing that, go hit the sub button for NEW. But also, let's go hit the sub button for our friends right over here at House of Misfits Backyard Wrestling. Because I see we've got some people here coming back in and out. We have a nice flow of people. So go out there, support. It's Home BYW 22. So go out there.
Watch the house party.
Yes, watch the house party, and not to be confused with the house party movies, the famous house party movies way back in the day. But most people in this chat be like, what the hell? Years ago, it was a rap group, Kid and Play. Look it up somewhere.
Yeah, I'm
familiar. Yeah, it was on Kid and Play with the flat top. Yeah, if you're old, you'll know about it. But, that was one thing. But definitely, we ain't going to hurt nobody. And it's a song from one of the movies, but we'll leave it at that. But thank you for the plug. Yes, we love you, Jake, and definitely want to get you on to talk some wrestling. I really just want to talk wrestling at this point. We'll let other people sort out other things, but that's the Home Backyard Wrestling's YouTube page. Let's take this off. I'm going to put up your merchandise page in a few minutes. But, okay, so let's talk about the rest of the card here. Who else were you excited to see? Maybe I'll put Jake's up here for a few minutes with Shockey. Heck of a match. Were there any other matches on House Party that you really were excited about most and such?
They were all amazing. D'Angelo Flame versus Mickey. Wait. Yeah. Awesome and Leonidas. Oh my God.
Oh, let's go there.
But like LaFlame and Vargas, and then the addition to Gabe Sayers, like that's a main event. Are you kidding?
Gabe. Gabe's always finds his way in these types of matches. Why am I not surprised? But Leonidas is a guy that it's funny you talked about him for a minute. I want to give him a nice little plug because I see Jake's here in the chat. I spoke about him first through Gabe Sayers because that's how I got to know NEW through Gabe. Obviously, everything has to be about Gabe, right? But I watched Leonidas in the TF crew, and I see him in NEW, and I really think he's a competitor that I really could see a lot of big things for in wherever he may want elsewhere going forward.
Every time I watch him, he's so much better than the last time I seen him, and
he's got a great look. He's got something
that
about
a lot of wrestlers can't do. They can't. He's just elevating, and a lot of people, they like find a level and they just kind of hang there. You know what I mean? I don't even know where this kid's roof is. I don't even think he knows. But yeah, he's definitely somebody to look out for.
100%. And I feel like that's what's important about companies like NEW, companies like Home, where Shockey Boy holds the show, TF Crew, is that you're getting to see some really good talent that are getting a chance to grow their skills. And a guy like you could really fit in really nicely in an NEW because of what you bring to the table. And it's a nice little blend. And I think it's a great environment. And I think that's why I'm excited to see what's
I've
what's
been
ahead.
I have been watching their program ever since the riot. I was watching it a little bit before the riot, getting into, you know what I mean, doing homework. It's the hard hitting, it, there's a lot of play fighting out there. This is a hard hitting company
I Yep.
that's where somebody like me I belong. You know what I mean? This is where you go where it's gritty. It's, you know what I mean? It's a damn good product, and I can't wait to start over there.
You know what I say all the time? I think I've been covering, and I'm sure Jake will definitely, he'll background check me on this. It's a joke. It's a joke, everyone. I've been covering these guys for about 6 or 7 months, whatever it is. He can quote me on it. But I always say in places like NEW, and even watching what Shockey's products got here, it is kind of real here. I feel like the offense, the wrestlers, it's real. I feel other places I've covered that shall be named nameless. It wasn't real. It was like you said, it was make believe. It's not make believe in NEW. It's not make believe in Shockey's house party. It's not make believe in other places like TF Crew. It's real here, and I
Yeah.
think that's what's the benefit of the products that we're watching and talking about. And I think you'll do really well there because that's really what you are. That's what you've been in your career, and especially now in these last few years.
No, I hope to fit right in. I hope that I'm, like I said, I'm excited for the opportunity, the adventure. I just not like I said, I can't wait, and I know like by the end of the year, and we're late October now.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'd say like right after Christmas,
Wow.
whatever episode's right after Christmas.
Well, I guess Christmas is that your Christmas gift this year? Or you're getting Christmas gifts like with a barbed wire lollipop, or you're getting wooded and
So that
thumbtack?
barbed wire lollipop, like, oh, man, let me tell you, that last bit of adrenaline where I like leg dropped with it, I literally had to super glue my leg shut to go wrestle last weekend.
It's
To
so
go
funny
wrestle
you
last weekend because I didn't want it to be all like opening up. So, I patch myself up. I go somewhere. I do my stuff. Like I said, I've been pretty active. So like,
Yeah, and it's good to see you active. It's funny because I get a blister on my foot. I can't shake it for a month, and I'm like, oh boy, I can't do anything. I just super glue myself after getting hit with a barbed wire lollipop, and I get hit with these thumbtacks pile driven on them, and wooden this and thumbtack that, and you're just like, yeah, it's another day in the office. I think that's just so fascinating.
Well, what are you gonna do? Go to a doctor where they're gonna super glue your leg?
Do doctors even do that? I feel like they would have did that like in like World War One, maybe like in
No,
World War
they
II.
have medical grade super glue.
They did. I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't know that. Well,
they use that a lot.
you guys in NEW and home and in other places, WTW, by the way, you guys, seem to know that really well. You guys probably have that on lock. But there's Leonidas there, and he's
I've been my own personal doctor for as long.
Oh, really?
So yeah. I clean myself up. I stitch myself up. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make everybody laugh here in the chat a little bit. I'm gonna do something I shouldn't do it, but I'll do it. Years ago, I used to hang out where I used my neighborhood. Let's just put it that way. And I would, sometimes try to, this is where I was in college. I would, try to pick up girls, and you know what I tell them? I'm a doctor. I've been a doctor. I wasn't a doctor. I was going to law, try to do law, but I was a doctor. It didn't work though. But but you could have been a better doctor than me because I was just trying to tell them that I was a doctor, but it just didn't quite work. But that's okay there. But heck of a show. Really enjoyed the show. Some great matches. Jake and Shockey opened the show. We had Vargas and the Flames.
Amazing open. Are you kidding?
Oh, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better opening. I mean, you just couldn't have asked for two of the red hot guys right now in the underground circuit. Shockey and Dvorak's everywhere. UWF.
That's another adrenaline finish too.
And they wrestled a long time too. Those guys went out there and had a banger. I mean, they went out there and had a banger and such. That was, that's what you do though. But this is what these guys just do. They just go out there, and Joe Starr's loving it. Joe Starr said, Tom Bryce, I didn't really have any game though, Joe. There was no game 10 years ago. There was definitely no game. But I'm on Sportswire now. I got the game of the community here. My people and everybody else. That's my game. But Jake's got a jersey there and he's wearing it. But yeah, no game, Joe Starr. You're Joe Starr. You got the game. But no way. Yeah, no, I didn't have game. No, there was no. I didn't really have the game. I would try it. And
Dr. Bryce might stay with you now.
Nah, well, it was well, you missed it Saturday, was it Sunday? My subscriber show, my old colleague of mine showed up, Mr. Russell Gallo, and he was talking a couple of stories, but that didn't quite come out of the list there. Maybe it'll come up on my 1,500 subscriber show and my other shows that'll come up, but who knows? We have plenty of shows here. But yeah, Jake and Shockey had a great match. As we're watching it, so NEW, we're back in NEW here. You're going to be there. You were there for the Riot in the Ring. You're going to technically debut there coming up at the end of the year. But what else are your goals coming up for the rest of the year? Like, what are some other goals, if you have any left?
I might hang out in Delaware again. The end of the year's coming up. So there's a show in January that I'm not really ready to talk about, but when I am ready to talk about it, it's kind of a big deal.
So you think maybe when you come back at the end of the year, you might be ready to talk about that? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. I'm sure eventually something will be out there.
All right.
Look at Shockey. See, being a little hardcore now,
Do you think maybe you rubbed off from him? Maybe that's what it is. You rubbed on him. Not in that way, but.
But like I said, a little bit of adrenaline, a couple scares to the head to get that blood flowing. Sometimes that's all it takes.
And Jake just, as always, look at the day in the office for Jake. It's another day in the office.
He's every time I see him, he's getting more and more hardcore. He's definitely coming.
Can you imagine you and Jake in a ring?
Yeah, it would be something special. I think it could happen now.
How many pints of blood between the two of you do you think you'll lose?
I think it would be a competition to see who would lose more.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, that'll definitely be a redux. Let's just put it that way. But obviously, Shockey and Jake can have a hardcore moment there. It was just an amazing show.
Such a good show.
I got to ask you this question about it. I mean, do you think that Shockey will do another one of these without speaking on behalf of Shockey? I know Shockey will be back. I spoke with Shockey, what do you think about that?
So I kind of think the house party is going to be an annual thing, but it might not necessarily be Shockey's.
Okay.
I mean, obviously it'll take place in the same place, but it could be Mickey's house party. It could be Torrance's house party. It could
Torrance Banks is a guy that he could definitely be a good host of a party. Yeah, Torrance Banks he's got something about him. Torrance Banks.
I think the house party, I think he opened up a whole world there where that's going to be an annual thing. I'm not sure. I'm not anything to do with home other than I just had all the respect for everybody there.
I think I have to buy your shirt when I'm off the air. By the way, I have to buy your shirt now. Now you have my word. I'm gonna buy your shirt now.
Limited edition there.
I have to buy it. So if I don't buy it, I'm gonna be you got my name on this. No, I have to buy it. Well, when we're off the air, I'll buy it. No, seriously, I'll buy it when we're off the air. But that's a pretty cool shirt there. It was I'll have to wear that one. I'll have to add that to what else is in my collection. At this point, Stefan Havok, all I wrestling shirts. I don't even wear anything else. I mean, so I got to add that to the collection. Now I got to definitely add that to the collection. If you want to buy the shirt, it's here on the Bonfire page. You can do it at Stefan Havok's Bonfire page. If you click it right here, here's the link. It's bonfire.com/store/merch world -1. You have a list of different shirts there. You have different kinds, different things. You have sweaters, pull-out hoodies. You got joggers, fleece joggers. You got some sweaters. That's a pretty cool logo there.
It's a nice store, and it literally helps me travel from one town to the next. So
no, it does help. I know with a lot of the guys that every shirt, every sale, it really does help guys So if you want to go out there, I see we still have a bunch of people here in the chat. Go out and buy some merchandise. Now I have to buy some merchandise after just seeing that, but that'll be a kick. But some great stuff there. He does some great work. He's got a whole list of them. Boy, you really went all out there. Boy, I mean, if you found a way to design something, you found it. Boy, yeah, definitely go buy some shirts. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. You got to really buy some shirts. I got to buy some shirts now. But yeah, there's a bunch of different links here. And yeah, actually, I got to say, you got the most merchandise of like any store in history I've seen. And I go and look at a lot of stores because I've bought a lot of merchandise. You have like the most merchandise of any like wrestling store out there.
I'm like kind of addicted to designing, so like that's my other thing. Like obviously, like it's starting to become known that like I do like editing for other companies.
I think we spoke about that in the prior episode, I believe.
Yeah. I've actually
not going into too much
with TF Crew. I helped edit Shockey's House Party. Just little bits and pieces here and there. You know what I mean?
Well, TF Crew, by the way, has got some just. I mean, the last couple of episodes of TF Crew have just been like. I feel like it's been better than pro wrestling I've watched. To be honest,
they are trying to. Yeah, no, that's another bucket list place. To, you know what I mean?
TF Crew is.
I mean, I've seen Gabe here and there. You know.
Well, Gabe's everywhere. Gabe popped into my chat yesterday with Resurrection Wrestling and Ronnie Brady. They're in Tennessee. I mean, Gabe is everywhere. I mean, Gabe.
For sure.
That's another good place. Rad Dad. I saw the other day Rad Dad and Gabe Sayers were tag teaming now. I mean, that's wild to me. Rad Dad and Gabe Sayers are tag teaming. I mean, who would have guessed that one? I mean, I guess it's the new stepdad. Is it the new stepdads? But yeah, I think TF Crew, but the product there, you I guess played a role in that because the product TF Crew is just. I mean, I'm watching these unhinged episodes and they're just like. They're so different from what I see from anybody out there. I mean, NEW, of course, is right there, but TF Crew and NEW guys are on TF Crew. I mean, just
they're very close companies. So like,
for sure, they're like peas in a pod. It's a great product. I mean, it's a great company. Two great companies. That's two people that Jake and Gabe, have a history there, and they don't like each other sort of in the ring.
They definitely don't.
Well, I'll leave those two individuals to that. But Mr. O'Malley wants to say. Pints and more like gallons of blood. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot what to count pints and gallons. I'm gonna have to go back to math class. I'll remember that. Thank you, Rob O'Malley, for correcting me on that. But that was a good line there from Rob O'Malley. But yeah, you and good old Rob O'Malley. But okay, we had a lot of fun with that. So what else is on your mind? Anything else you want to talk about here in touch that we should discuss going in here for the remaining time of the show? Obviously, we talked a lot about Shockey's House Party. We talked about Delaware, WTW. What would you like to be there more often?
I enjoy it there. I like the atmosphere. I feel like if I found a way to go there more steadily, like it would just help benefit me or whatever.
Sure.
I wouldn't mind having a match with like Eddie Exile or
Eddie Exile's always here on Sportswire. Yeah. What a surprise.
I met him when I went down there.
Another New York guy.
No, he's good people. I really like.
Great guy. And he's no drama. He doesn't want any BS. He just wants to go out there and wrestle. That's what I love about Eddie Exile. He just wants to go out there, which is what we need. I mean, you and Eddie Exile would be an interesting match there. Very interesting.
I believe that would be another match.
How about you and Robo Stoner? Can I bring that name
I
up?
wouldn't. Yeah, no, that would be another one. I would 100% be.
You and Robo Stoner, boy.
Like, there's a lot of people over there that I would match with. Are you kidding?
Another company I owe to get them on Sportswire, But we have dates available now because there's other feds, going. We'll leave that at that. But yeah, I think you and Robo Stoner might be the one I might be most intrigued by, if that makes sense.
You never know. I mean, maybe Riot in the ring next year. Maybe.
And he was very impressive in the All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament.
I mean, if I fight him on Delaware, nobody's gonna see it other than clips or people that were there, But if he comes somewhere else,
well, maybe it makes it. I guess in a way to take a positive at it, maybe it puts a mystique to that product because the people that go have a unique experience. It's almost
for sure. No, I think it's a little weird that they don't have a channel, but at the same time, they have their own thing going on, and
they have a following. They have a
crowd. They have Huge
when
crowd.
I post clips on Instagram, whether it's O'Malley, Exile, Gabe has talked about WTW in the past, like people come to my page and they watch for WTW. So in a way, they're kind of like almost if you remember, for those that will remember, if you're a fan of history, if you were a band, you didn't have a video on MTV, and it was almost a mystique to the band. Oh well, this is a band; they don't have a music video, and kind of in a way,
They're
with, with
very
WTW.
underground. With
And you know what? But that adds something to them
does
because
does, and it's like you get a different vibe going out there. So I mean,
absolutely, absolutely. Now,
and
listen,
everywhere you go is a different vibe, you know. Like, and as long as it's a positive one, I'm game, and I'll return. Like, I've gone to places where I was just like, yeah, I don't really ever want to come back here. But you know, it happens.
but you know what? But it's good that you're getting a chance to go see these different places, and you're now being a part of them. And you talked about, WTW just now. Obviously, Massachusetts. You're going to be back there again. You're in the riot in the ring. You're going to talk about obviously whatever. I saw you in Shocky's party. I think that's like it's good to see places. You're getting an experience, and you're getting into good places that I think a lot of people are really excited about. People that we would like to talk about more. I mean, Eddie's been here a bunch of times. O'Malley will be back. A lot of good things. So it's nice to see you a part of that. Really.
I mean, that's like it's really like if you think about it, it's a small family. Like it
Yep.
seems there's a lot of people out there that do this, but it, if you notice the parts of the world and stuff, like this group will hang together and kind of intertwine and then do their own thing and then intertwine and like that's where it is, you know what I mean? And to like open that up to a bigger picture as opposed to like New York, you know what I mean? Like to move around,
Our
travel.
state.
Yeah,
Our state.
yeah, to open it up and to, you know, like just to broaden your horizons and stuff like that. It's only gonna be like a positive thing, you know, as long as you're like going to the right places and stuff. Which I mean, like now you got to be careful about. Like you got to extra
Yeah.
research everywhere you
Oh
go.
God, yeah, yeah. Trust me, and I'm really, we're moving on from that. We're talking wrestling on
Facts.
Sportswire. We're no comment. I have no comment further on that. There's no other shows on that. There is no comment, no nothing on that. But the only thing I will comment on is that Stefan Havok is here. We're having a lot of fun from a fellow New Yorker. He is the only New York wrestler in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, officially from the state of New York, born in the state of New York. He is on Instagram there. He is at Havok Icon. I also want to give a big shout out to a lady friend of mine. Yes, for whatever reason, Stefan Havok, there's a woman that sort of likes me a little bit. I don't know why. She'll probably not like me after the show, but we do want to make sure that we say hello to her because she's tuned in and she is definitely brightening not just my lights, but definitely brightening the prime time, brightest lights, biggest stage. And we definitely want to say hello to her and hope that she is having as beautiful as an evening as it is here in New York as she is. It's she's definitely I don't know why she's here watching, but we'll definitely say hello to her and hopefully that she'll want to talk to me after the show. Hopefully, but but she's a very, very special individual, and we thank her so much, and we thank you, Stefan Havok. But before we get to some closing thoughts, and by the way, I'll be back here at 9 o'clock Eastern. Almost like it's going to be like I'm going to be like you, Stefan Havok, working hardcore. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to eat, and then come back on the Sportswire in about an hour or so from now. But do you have any closing thoughts here, my friend, and anything else you might want to share before we say adieu until
I mean,
before the end of the year?
keep watching, you know, keep watching all the places that I wanted you to plug. Just keep watching those places, and maybe I'll show up there. You know,
Well, good. Well, the right places, like you said, the right places.
the
Let's
right
go to
places. Yeah,
let's please go to the right places. The right places that
I
we
know
can.
the places to go.
That's good. You're a veteran. You definitely know. It's almost like New Kids on the Block. You got that right stuff. I'm not going to go into a New Kids on the Block. So you're a hardcore guy. I don't want to do bubblegum pop. The bubblegum pop companies are no longer on the platform. We don't want to go back to the bubblegum pop days. We have to go and more hardcore version. I'm not going to go NKOTB on anybody. Maybe though some of the people that used to come on the platform might have been into that, but we want to stay away from that and stay more hardcore, and all that stuff. But obviously, we'll definitely move on further. But obviously, I do want to plug a couple things here one more time. First of all, let me give a big plug to Stefan Havok on his merchandise page. Number one, go out there and hit some merchandise. I'm going to buy the merchandise right before I go on the Sportswire. I'm going to screenshot it when I do. Thank you for that. That's your YouTube link. We're going to also take this off and put another link out there because we want to take care of that as well. So we're going to go like this and then going to go like this to make sure if you're out there, hit the sub button for Shocky's company. Well, one of his companies he's a part of. House of Misfits Entertainment Backyard Wrestling, home BYW 22. I also want to thank our friends in WTW. I think they shared the link just now, actually. So maybe it was a good thing to mention WTW. I see
Nice.
they mentioned it. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. Sharing is scaring. And Joe Starr, no doctor. And I'm no doctor, Joe Starr, but maybe the lady that I'm talking to might want to send me to a doctor for being nuts about my large intros and everything else. But we'll get that in the time. But that's Stefan Havok's info. Go check House of Misfits Entertainment's info. This was great. I think it was your best appearance on Sportswire, actually. I think they get better and better each time. So you're actually making me think you should come on more often after all. You know what? You're getting better. It's getting better and better with you. I had a great turnout today. I was happy. We were happy. And we spoke wrestling. So I'm looking forward to your next appearance. And you said you weren't coming by yourself, but rather with someone else, an individual or individuals. So that gives me something to look forward to there. So
yeah, we'll talk. I'll come back on.
Oh, I'm sure you'll talk. Oh, you'll definitely let me know. I know that.
Yeah,
but
I'll come back on after Christmas and
well, ho ho ho, Merry Christmas and
yeah.
have a happy New Year. But I won't do my Christmas talk just yet. But this was Stefan Havok. He's definitely not going nowhere. He's going a lot of places. And he was very successful at the historic Shocky's House Party, one of the greatest wrestling shows, super shows in New York backyard and underground wrestling history. Dare I say it? Yeah, Shocky, you're gonna quote me on that one. Yeah. Shocky's gonna love that one. You know, Shocky's gonna love that one. He's gonna love that. Shocky's gonna love that. He was very successful over Hunter. There was some objects where they were hunting each other with, and Joe Starr liked that. Joe Starr seems to like me. I don't know why Joe Starr, but he's a star man. But Stefan Havok had a lot of people seeing stars tonight. He'll be back on here very soon. Check him out. Havok Icon. Check him out YouTube. Check him out Instagram. He's a part of NEW coming up at the end of the year. My name is the Reverend Tom Rice. I will be here in about an hour or so with Godric Sandwell, the Three Rivers champion in PXW. Can you say that again? Well, the New York Jets shouldn't because they got their butts kicked in Three Rivers, but I'm not quite a New York Jets fan, but we'll leave that at that other time. Well, we'll see everybody in a little while, and until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all